Our next step beyond creating this exploded view is we're going to create a sheet that we can put this exploded view on, but then we can also add what's called a parts list and balloons to note each one of the individual components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to select a new West Template Standard. Right here is westtemplatestandard.idw. Click on that and say create. Right now I don't want to select a component, I can just say OK. And I can also say, for the purposes of this tutorial, OK right here. Now, what I'm going to get is I'm going to get that blank sheet of paper, and what I want to do is I want to put that view on here. So I'm going to click on base, and now it should be selected already. Notice I have that t9assembly.ipn, that's my exploded view file. Now, what I want to do is I want to select an isometric view of this. So I'm going to click on isometric top right, and the scale, notice if I drag this in here, this scale is very, very small, 0.17 to 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 1/2. And I want to do a shaded view as well. So I'm going to click on shaded. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this, I'm going to kind of nest this right over to the lower right hand corner, something like this. I'll place it, and now notice it's going to give me projected views. I can press escape because I don't want those. I just want one individual view here. Now this is my exploded view. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my annotation button, because what I want to do is I want to add what are called balloons to this exploded view. Notice right up on top here I have the balloon tab. I'm going to click on this, and what this does is this adds balloons or part numbers to each one of these parts on here. So what I'm going to do is notice I have to click on it when it turns red, so I'll click once, and now it's going to ask what is my assembly file. My assembly file is the t9assembly.iam. That's just fine. I can say OK. And now notice as I'm dragging around, I'm dragging a balloon behind me. To place this, what I want to do is I just want to double click in a spot. So I'm going to double click right now, and it places it. I can add my next balloon. Now you'll notice there's numbers inside of these balloons. Those correspond to the number on the parts list that we're going to generate here in a second. So I'm just going to place a couple of these. Notice that we have a couple 5s, we have a couple 6s, we have a couple 4s. That's because the wheels are the same, the tires are the same, and then also these axles are the same. So it's just multiple iterations of the same individual part. Now, you're going to go through and you're going to do all of these individual parts using the balloon tab to balloon all of these. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a parts list. And if you look right up here, just to the left of that, we have this parts list button. I'm going to click on parts list, and now what it's going to say is what is the document that I want to create a parts list from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse for the file, and I want to browse out to find my assembly. So my assembly is called T9assembly. I'm going to click on that and say open. Notice it populates right here, and everything else here is just fine, so I can say OK. And now what it's going to give me is it's going to give me kind of a ghost of what the profile of that parts list is going to look like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dock it up here in the upper left. Notice it does overlap my windshield. We're going to take care of that here in a second. But please notice with this parts list, what I have is I have all of my items, the quantities within the assembly, and then also the part number or what the part is named. Please notice that right now the ones that we have, number 5 is T9 tire. And in the whole assembly there's 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the other thing that we want to do with this parts list is I want to take care of this description column because we're not going to use that. And the way that I do that is I'm going to right click on my parts list, and when I right click on this it gives me the option to edit parts list. I'm going to edit the parts list. And now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this column. And the way that we do this is I'm going to right click again on the description column. And when I right click on this, it gives me a couple options. The one I want to choose is column chooser. When I click on this, these are all different options that I could put into my parts list. In our case, what I want to do is I want to take away description. So I'm going to click on description, and I'm going to say remove, and OK, and OK. And now you can see that it's made my parts list much smaller. I'm just going to grab this and drag it back over to the upper left hand corner. So now this is docked into this upper corner. The final product, what you should have at the end, it should look something like this. Notice what I have is I have all of my parts ballooned. I have my parts list docked up in the upper left hand corner. It does not have a description column, and then I've also included all of my information in my title block. Just as a review, remember to add information to the title block afterwards. I'm going to go over here to the model browser, and I have this West title block option. You should have something that looks like this where it has a plus sign. I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm going to right click on field text. I'm going to say edit field text, and now this is where I can put that information in. So, just as a review, what you're looking to do today is you're looking to create an exploded view. You're looking to put that exploded view on a West Template standard.idw sheet. You're looking to add the balloons. You're looking to add the parts list. This should be your final product at the end of the day today. Thank you.